right, man. Today on the Underdogs podcast, we have a 9-year NBA vet and 2-time NBA champion, Mario Chalmers. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Oh my God, I appreciate it.
Now, me and Rio, we actually played on a team recently at the 5 tournament where we are part of the Miami franchise. So we was a little bit of teammates. So we had to play against Mike T. Mike T was talking crazy. You remember that game? Talking crazy too.
That's Mike though. I learned about that about Mike crazy. Mike gonna tell you whatever you want to hear on the court. That's one thing about him too.
Off the court, you my guy. You feel me?
That's you gotta learn how to separate it.
Yeah, for sure.
On the court, you're like, hold on. All right,
Do I know him?
That's how you play.
Who is this man?
Yeah. Me and Rio go back for real. Like I was saying, me and Rio go back to the Big 12 conference. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching you. You know, I was in junior college. I was watching you. You know what I'm saying? The first few years in Kansas and just looking at that conference because it was closer back. You know what I'm saying? Home. I was in junior college in Florida.
Right.
So I was already kind of like admiring your game. And then that's why, like, you know, I kind of saw a resemblance in my game and you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when I got in the Big 12, I'm like, you was the only person that I wanted to play against. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the rest of that stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to be like, this is Kansas. Like, this Mario Chalmers right here. Like, he definitely going to the league. Like, let me see where I'm at with this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see. Like, so, like, after we played at Iowa State, I think we went to overtime that first game there.
Yep, we did.
Y'all ended up, you came down clutch. You and Brandon Rush came down, hit some clutch, tough shots, and ran away with it. I think we lost by like 6 or 7.
That was one of the toughest games we ever had at Iowa State.
Yeah, bro.
I hated playing at Ames, Iowa, bro. That's crazy out there.
Definitely. And then when we came back out there, bro, like I couldn't even look at the basket. Like
I played at the field.
I never had like an opportunity where it was like, nigga, no, like
Kansas was different. I still say that's one of the best arenas I've ever played in. Like that fan base and how they treat that place, like that place is crazy.
No, that was definitely dope. So, you know, I never even, you know what I'm saying, said that to you personally, but like I always was like following you. So when you got drafted, just everything that you was doing, like, you know what I'm saying? We got our personal relationship off the court, but like as like on the court and what you know what I'm saying, the work that you put in and you know what I'm saying, just to see how you took, you know what I'm saying, your college career and how you was coming off a high, how you handled it in the NBA and just the whole journey, bro, that you've been on fighting it back to injuries and everything. And now you back in the G League, just the whole journey, bro.
Right.
Like as a peer, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand a lot of it. And you know what I'm saying? Like straight up, I just want to take my hats off to you. Homage, respect that is utmost, bro. And that's just,
I appreciate that.
That's just real.
Appreciate that.
Oh, let's talk about Alaska. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your experience in Alaska growing up. You know what I'm saying? Because like I ain't never been. I always wanted to go and like, you know what I'm saying? Like let the people know who aren't familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? Who from the States but don't really, you know, don't know nothing about Alaska, bro.
Alaska is different. Well, Alaska is different, but Anchorage is different. Like you can put the city of Anchorage anywhere in the lower 48 and it's going to blend in with how, you know what I'm saying, how everything else is, like how modern everything is, how everybody acts, just like that. So with Anchorage is based off, I'll say we have a lot of folks that, you know, we're a military city. We get a lot of military kids, and then Anchorage is a place where a lot of folks come to get away, escape what they're going through back at their home. So we got people from New York, Mississippi, Chicago, Seattle, Cali, all in one area that's not like typical anywhere else. So you put that on a basketball court, you getting a taste of West Coast basketball, East Coast basketball, Midwest basketball, South basketball. You know, everybody got their different type of grind and a different type of flavor that they put into the game of basketball. So for me, you know, everybody in my family played basketball. My dad, my mom, my sister, my uncle. So it was nothing. It was always for me going to pick up. I was always going to be a basketball player anywhere it goes. So for me, just to have that, my family being, you know, based out of North Carolina and having that East Coast, you know, kind of flavor to my game, and then adding the West Coast where they're known for shooters. You know, they known for being able to be real fundamental. And then you got the South that got the grit and grind, the toughness. So playing against those guys, you had to be tough. You know, being on the military base, playing against grown men, you had to be tough. So basketball, there was a way out, and it was a way for you to get, you know, for us growing up, different flavors of everything, you know, that a lot of other people wouldn't get. So for me to be able to pick up on that and be able to put Alaska on my back and come out the city was, you know, like really a blessing, really, you know, something big time. You know, because Boozer's from Juneau, Trajan's from Alaska, but, you know, they all had great careers. And, you know, Trajan stayed, but he didn't have the most. Boozer made the most money, had probably the greatest career as far as, like, individual. But then you put me as far as the championship. Like, that really put Alaska on the map as far as breeding winners and breeding players that can come out there and actually hold their own. So for me, that was just the biggest thing for me coming out the city, was to be able to hold my own and just show that, you know, Alaska's not a pushover. Anchor's not a pushover. Like, we got real hoopers. Y'all got to respect us. Y'all got to look at us when we come out in the gym.
Yeah, because that's really dope that you got different facets of your game from different parts of the regions of the country. Like, for example, for me, I got some when I left the West and went to the East Coast. So now I felt like I got added East Coast a little bit, but you got the Midwest, the South, the West, and the East. Like, that's a bar.
I tell you, that Midwest basketball is totally different from anywhere else. Like, it's crazy. Like, even being teammates with Sharon Collins, I still say that's one of the greatest individual basketball players I've ever seen go. And, like, yeah, that Midwest is different.
Yeah, you gotta be able to, like, know how to dribble, pass, shoot. You gotta just be able to do it all. And it's just like a little gritty. It's just like a little grimy. It's just like a little different than everywhere else. It's just a little different. Like, it's constant pressure. Like you can go against somebody, they're gonna hit you with 5 moves, like boom, 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 like 5 consecutive moves. But growing up, like, somebody still guard you every 5 moves, like, you still right there, like, still there. It ain't nothing.
I still say the toughest guards I probably had to go against. Like, I hated to go against Will Bynum. When Will Bynum was at Detroit, I hated bringing the ball up against him.
Yeah, Will Bynum.
Like, Will Bynum, tough. No matter what I did, he was still there. It's like, man, leave me alone, man. Go somewhere. Get away from me.
Straight up. So, let's talk about your upbringing. I know we talked about Alaska a little bit, but I know you did mention, you know, your mom, your dad played basketball, but kind of go into, you know what I'm saying, your upbringing, your childhood, what that household was like for you, you know what I'm saying, growing up.
I mean, it was cool. You know, my dad had a military background. He was a first sergeant in the Air Force, so that's where the discipline part came from. My mom was a school teacher, so she was a physical education and health teacher. So, you know, they worked a lot. The biggest thing for me was, you know, they always kept me in the gym. No matter what I want to do basketball-wise, they made sure that I had the opportunities to show my case, show my skills, and, you know, be ready for whatever challenge that came to me. So, you know, as long as I handle what I need to handle as far as, like, schoolwork, not getting in trouble, keeping good grades, you know, the normal things. You know, they made sure that basketball was always there for me in a way for me to keep going. So that was the biggest thing for me. It was, you know, no matter what, I had basketball as an outlet. You know, as far as anything was going on in basketball, they made sure basketball was my outlet. So, I mean, that was the biggest thing for me.
How many? I know you said you had a sister that played basketball. That's all you had was just you and your sister?
Yeah, I got an older sister. She played high school. She could have played college, but, you know, She wanted to be a girly girl, so that changed everything. So yeah, it was just me and her. We're 9 years apart, so
Okay.
best friend right there.
So speaking of like high school ball and stuff like that, do you feel like, you had to work harder being from Alaska, having, maybe less eyes on you than, someone from the lower 48 would have? Do you feel like you kind of had to, work through some obstacles there?
I definitely had to work through a lot of obstacles. Just having to chip on my shoulder. Not many college coaches or anybody's coming up to Alaska to watch kids play. So for me to actually get out and be on the scene, I mean, my junior year, sophomore, junior year of high school, after our season ended in March, I was probably flying out every weekend from April to May and just being in different AAU tournaments, just trying to get seen. Always going to California, going to Vegas, going to Tournament of Champions in North Carolina. My biggest opportunity came with playing against California Pump Run in the Vegas tournament. We started off, we had an Alaska tournament. We had an Alaska team. We competed we tried to compete, but, with everything that was going on with Alaska and the different ballers we had, we didn't have the size to compete with the lower 48 team, put it like that. So, it wasn't really good for us going out there and going to tournaments, losing by 20, 30 and stuff like that. It wasn't fun for everybody. So me having the opportunity to play against California Pump and Run, I had a good game. And, the Pump brothers came to me and it's like, we see you got talent. You see that you really take this basketball seriously. We want to help you. And, they gave me an opportunity to come play for Cali Pump and Run. And, they just helped me, showcase my talents and my skills and, make sure that, that every big tournament, everything that, I needed to be seen and, start being seen by these college coaches. So that's really how my basketball career went in Alaska. That's how you got to get seen. There's been a debate going on in Anchorage about, should players stay or should players, leave to go to lower 48 and play at different schools. And, for me, it was different. I always wanted to be that guy from Alaska to put the city on. No matter what I did in Anchorage, I could have a mediocre game versus a regular team, but as soon as I step out to the lower 48, I'm putting everything out there. I'm leaving everything on the court, and I'm walking away. You're gonna remember my name. You're gonna remember where I'm from. So that was the biggest thing. Just represent for my city.
And that was pretty cool because I played for the Pumps too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pumps take care of a lot of people, dog.
Yeah, Pump. A lot of people came through the Pumps, man. Big shout out to the Pumps, man. Big shout out to the Pumps. Why Kansas? From Alaska to Kansas, B. What's up?
That's a funny story. Growing up, like I said, my friends from North Carolina. All my friends from North Carolina area, so I was a Tar Heel guy. I'd probably say from the age of 6, I committed to North Carolina. Like, I knew I was going there. I knew that's where I wanted to be. So Roy Williams was a coach at North Carolina. It comes to a tournament, and we're in Vegas. And we play another guy that he's recruiting. I don't want to say any names, just leave that out of there. But we play this team. I get a guy, I think I had like 39 and 7. Roy Williams comes to me after the game and was like, you're a North Carolina guy, we want you to come, but the only way I can offer you a scholarship is Raymond Felton goes pro. So I'm like, all right, cool. The word around, he's going pro and everything. So I think this game was on a Saturday. I get back to Anchorage on a Monday. I go to school. My best friend was like, the kid you just played against in Vegas, he just got a scholarship offer from North Carolina. In my mind, I'm like, Raymond Felton ain't announced he went pro yet. So I'm like, dang, like, what was really going on? So I reached out to North Carolina, asking what's going on. Didn't get nothing back. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm done with North Carolina. So in my second thought, I always been a Coach Self fan. That UNC Illinois championship game. The way he let his guards play in that game, that made me fall in love with his playing style and the way he did things. So seeing him at Kansas and seeing the guards that he let play, I took my visit there. And, and I just fell in love with everything about basketball. Being the creator of basketball, Naismith being the first coach, the history of it, the the way that all the seniors was leaving, and it was just a wide open opportunity to come in and be able to play right away and, be able to really leave my mark. And, that was a big thing for me, was coming into a situation where, I can make the best of the best. And, Kansas just fit that mold for me.
Definitely paved the way. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of coming out your city, coming out your country. You know what I'm saying? You paid the way. So I see what you was just, saying about it's different now. I mean, it's probably better for them kids to come over here to the, to the lower 48 and come early. The earlier, the better.
Yeah,
so you know what I'm saying? But
that's why I tell them how they see it. It's a personal decision. Don't let nobody make that decision for you. If you want to be the best where you from, then you put the work in to be the best where you from. You want to make the best of an opportunity, then you make the best of an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
But you the one who that's even an option now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you laid that road down. So, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to, add that in there.
Now let's go to the NCAA tournament. Y'all played Derrick Rose and Memphis, a tough Memphis team at that.
Yep.
Like, I want you to go and explain that game, and then I want you to take a deeper, in-depth look at the situation where you had to shoot that three. Like, I want you to bring up what happened in that timeout, what happened in this situation where I was coming down in transition, and how you just pulled that thing. You feel me? Paul stuff.
and it's trending. It's crazy because it's trending crazy right now too.
It's March Madness.
Yeah, it's March Madness, March 1st. It was cracking. You got trending out the gate. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I've been looking at it too. It looked like the nigga was losing the ball. It was about to be a turnover.
It was about to be a turnover. You came on that thing off that two dribble too. Pat, pat.
So smooth.
That's the thing about it. The thing about that play, we practice that play every day. Like, in practice, that was the last thing in practice. We had to practice that play every day. So just coming to that moment, it felt like practice. Like, it wasn't really that much pressure as everybody think it was. It was just like, all right, you give me the ball, I'm gonna make it. Like, y'all know how my confidence is. Y'all know how I feel about the end of the game. Just give me the ball and make something happen. Yeah. So I had all the confidence in the world in Sharon. I don't care if he was falling, rolling over. Somehow he was gonna give me that ball. So that's all I do to happen. So when I got the ball, I got the two dribbles. I got to the spot I wanted to, and I was able just to elevate.
It was a beautiful shot, bro. I mean, and then, like, let's talk about that, because your feeling, you were so bland after, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like,
we did that play every day in practice. So it was kind of like, I'm not surprised it went in. Like, come on, we still got overtime. Like, in my mind, I'm trying to get a steal and get another shot off before the end of the clock and really set the town off. But I'm like, all right, just play it cool. We're going to go to overtime. We already, we took their heart. After that shot went in, their heart was gone. So it was able just to go to work in overtime and do what we do.
I even want to rewind, like, before that shot too. D Rose was at the line shooting free throws, and you guys had a little interaction.
Everybody talks about that. But, I just told him. I said, you missed this free throw, it's over. You miss any of these free throws, it's over. And he looked at me, kind of brushed me off, and it was kind of like, so, I mean, y'all know. Mike knows. Mike knows how we get to talking. It's just like, are we going to let you go? Like, hey, you ain't wrong mistake. You about to pay for this.
Ooh, that's tough. That's pressure for real.
So, I know we just talked about the game, but let's talk about the tournament run. Like, what was that feeling like before you got to the final? Like, what was the group feeling? Like, when y'all got, because I believe y'all got a number one seed, correct? Yeah. So take me from there, then to going right before we played Memphis.
Before that, you got to fast forward to the year before that when we lost to UCLA in the Elite Eight in Anaheim. We was the number one seed then too. But for that game, that was like, for me personally, that was one of the worst games of my career. I feel like that was the only game in my career where I was actually locked up and I couldn't do anything. I was like 1 for 7, had 7 turnovers that game. Like, it was just one of them bad games. And for me to have that type of game and being one of the main players in the Elite Eight, for a big moment, that just fueled my whole summer. So that summer, I really got in the weight room. I really got with Coach Woody, and I switched up the game plan. I became stronger, and I looked at what I could do to make myself a better player. What can I add to the team? So that summer, I think everybody just looked in the mirror and had a gut check, like, what can we bring to the table as individuals to make us better? Because as a team, we was great as a team, but it just came down to, like, we didn't know how to make our individual talents really click within the team offense. So that whole summer, you know, we spent, I think we might have took 2 weeks off as a team. And then right there, we was in the gym every day, in the weight room every day. So just leading up to that whole season, we started off 20-0. So that was our whole focus. Like, we going out here, we sending a message. This is our year. So going into the tournament, first game, Portland State, we wasn't worried about that game. UNLV, they had good guards, and Wink Wright and Jason Terry's little brother. I can't even think of his name right now. So we knew that we had a challenge with them. And, you know, the strength of our team was our guards and, you know, our defense on the perimeter. So, you know, we was able to take control of that game and, you know, win that one easily. And then Villanova game was a personal game for me and Sharon. Just because at Team USA, we was both out there for the workouts, for the tryouts. And, you know, Jay Wright was the coach. And, you know, Jay Wright's Villanova's coach. So Jay Wright at Team USA, he kept his player over me and Sharon when everybody said me and Sharon had the better show. So we knew that was personal for us. Like, okay, we about to really show you. So that game, we blew them out from the beginning. That was a personal game. And then that led up to the Cinderella story that year in Steph Curry and Davidson. Now that game, that was a tough game just because of how they played. You know, they was a physical team. They slowed down. And, you know, we was a fast team. We was up and down. So when you made us after actually executing the half court, we didn't like that, but we was okay at it. And the thing that really helped us win that game was probably the previous experience where we played UCLA, and UCLA did the same thing. Like, they wouldn't let us run. They slowed everything down, put us in the half court. So just being able to flash back to that game, I think that really helped us, you know, pull away from that game because they was winning. It was winning late. I think it was up like 3 or 4, and we ended up winning by 3. So, you know, that was the game. And once we got through that game, you know who was next, North Carolina. And the thing about the North Carolina game, 4 out of the starter 5 had a personal experience with North Carolina where they wanted to go there, and it didn't happen. So, you know, that game was more personal than anything with Roy Williams just leaving Kansas. So, you know, that game was really our national championship before the Memphis game. So we jumped out on them, was able to blow them out. We was able to blow them out, and everybody made that game personal. So, you know, that was a different game, different atmosphere, different emotion for, you know, everybody. And then that led up to the national championship where, you know, where everybody wants to be. You know, it's for all the marbles to let you know who's the best college team, who's got the best, who's the best of the best right now. And you know that game, you just leave it all on the line. And you know that game was back and forth. You know, D Rose hit some incredible shots that game. He went to work, and you know, but we was able to persevere. We stayed with it. You know, our motto all season was, you know, believe. Just keep believing, no matter what's going on. Keep believing. And when we went down, that last 2 minutes was down 7 our last time out. Coach Self just said, just keep believing, keep believing. And, you know, we took it. We was able to go from there.
The Sports Illustrated cover and getting your jersey retired at one of the best colleges, you know what I'm saying, one of the best basketball colleges damn near in the world. Kind of walk us through that, like, you know what I'm saying, that's historical. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's legendary status. Like, being able to look back on it and, you know what I'm saying, like, what's your reflection now looking back on it?
A dream come true. You know, that's the whole reason why I went to Kansas, was to leave my mark, do something special, and be part of something special. And, you know, being able to have this dream at 2 years old, to see all this really happen and going down at 35 and being able to look back and, like, I accomplished almost everything that I wanted to do as a basketball player. You know, that's legendary. Like you said, not too many people can really say that. And, you know, that just makes me appreciative of the opportunities, like you said, just being able to still play this game. Like, had one real major injury, I was able to bounce back, and I'm still being able to play. Like, I'm still here no matter what. Like what I did was legendary. Like, you can't take it away from me. Remind me of what Flip said on Above the Rim. Can never take this away from us.
Can never take this away from me,
Take it away
baby.
from us.
Never take this away from us, baby. Nah, that's definitely exactly, it is what it is. And just being able to, you know what I'm saying, just break it down just a little bit for the viewers, for the followers, and everybody to know, like, these are things that it's not your everyday type of situation.
Don't happen to everybody. Like, some of the greats didn't even get to, you know, experience some of the things like this. So it's like,
sure.
Like, yeah, it's crazy.
So going through your college basketball journey, right? Obviously, you're having a great career in college. At what point did you know, like, you know, I'm good enough to go to the next level? I'm good enough to make it there and contribute. And then, like, once you realize that, what was that preparation like when you knew you were ready to push it?
The funny thing about that, I thought I was good enough every year. I try to leave every year after college, and that's the funny thing. I always thought about that, but you know, I really took it serious after my junior year. I just felt like I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish as far as basketball-wise in college. You know, this is an opportunity where, you know, my name's hot right now. I'm riding the wave of national championship, riding the wave of hitting the shot too, sending it to overtime to help win. So I don't think there'd be a greater moment than this. And, you know, that was really the fuel to my fire of really putting my name in the draft and staying. And then going through the workouts, getting all the positive feedback from, you know, the GMs and the coaches, and then Coach Shell kind of gave me that extra push to, you know, to stick with it. You know, that really made me go from there.
And then you finish up your college career, you know, you're getting ready for the NBA draft. What was your draft night like? What was your experience with that?
Draft night was a tough night personally, but it was an experience. I say personally, it was a tough night just because, you know, going through that draft, you're told so many different things and you don't know what to believe, what not to believe. So going into the draft, I was told I'd be a top 20 pick for sure. So, you know, just going in there, seeing the names getting called at 18, 19, 20, kind of like, all right, so I'm not top 20, what's going to happen next? And then you hear another team say, okay, we're about to take you, and then they take somebody else. And, you know, just going through that whole process of waiting, a little bit challenging. But at the end of the day, you know, my name was called. Got drafted to Minnesota. It's still a blessing to be able to walk across that stage, shake Adam Silver's hand, do the interviews in the back. And, you know, being traded to Miami on draft night was probably, you know, the highlight of my night. Just with everything going, it just shows that, you know, no matter how your day start, at the end of the night, when you lay your head down, you're still waking up to a new blessing. And, you know, that was the biggest thing for me was I made it to where I wanted to ultimately make it to.
And yeah, since you did make it to where you want to make it, what was your welcome to the league moment?
My welcome to the league moment, probably opening night at the Garden. I had to guard Jamal Crawford. I mean, just being in that moment, just being able to play in the Garden for your first game, your first NBA game, and then going against somebody like Jamal Crawford. Like, I've known Jamal since he was in Seattle. You know, he's from Seattle, so I played against him before. We've known each other. So just be going against a guy like that for my first game, it was just mind-blowing. And, you know, that was my welcome to the league moment. Right there, it was just like, wow, I really made it, and I'm going against, you know, somebody else. But the one that I say, my real welcome to the league moment, we playing the Lakers. The Beam, the Mamba, game winner, 1 foot off on D-Wade, off the glass, cash. I was like, oh, God. And that's just one of the moments like, wow. Like I've heard it. I've heard about it. I've seen it on TV. I did it in the video game.
Yeah.
I just seen this live. I just seen this man hit an incredible shot on a great defensive player off one leg.
Crazy.
Like that's
What was that?
Go ahead, Mike.
No. That moment surreal right there.
Yeah, that's just like
yeah. No, but rest in peace to the late great.
Rest in peace and shout out Jamal Crawford.
Definitely. I used to try to do everything Jamal Crawford used to do off the 1-2. But yeah. What was your rookie year like? You know what I'm saying? What adjustments, you know what I'm saying, that you had to make early on? Like, how was that process for you?
The biggest thing for me was really learning how to be a point guard again. Being in college, I was at the 2 most of the time until the end of the game where I really handled the ball. But, being in the league, being able to handle the ball, and then, having a superstar on your team like D-Wade, it really helped me just because, he guided me a lot. He helped me understand what it took to be a point guard in the league, where to put the ball at, where to find my spots, just things like that. And it was something for me to learn from a guy like that, who was one of my favorite players growing up. But it was also a good experience coming to a coaching staff that was fresh. Like that was Spo's rookie year, being a coach, the whole coaching staff's first year. So it was kind of cool to be able to develop with them, develop as they was developing, and then kind of being able to mesh together and come up with different ideas, and just being able to really get a taste of the NBA and being able to live that lifestyle. And that was the main thing, especially having the beach to go to every time you have to practice. Miami was just different. Like you had to find your ways to stay out, stay in the gym. You just gotta keep working.
So that was a big thing when, you know what I'm saying, we was coming up in the draft, is like being a point guard.
Right.
Especially with our size and everything. They was like, it was positions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a positionless basketball, which that's the basketball, the style of basketball. Like we would love to be able to free play in.
That's why like everything's so different. Like we really playing pickup basketball now. Like it wasn't like, look, you the point guard, you gotta get him the ball, you gotta do da 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 da. It's like, nah, here, go play, read and react. That's like,
yeah.
Imagine that they let us do that back in the day.
Man.
That's why I'm telling young people on my team now. It was like, how it was back in the day. I said, it wasn't like this.
Not like this. Telling.
And now we sound like the old heads. We used to say that to us.
Say thing about that, bro. You got to play like this. Like, hey, basketball is it's different, man. It changes.
It's an evolving sport always, man. Oh, absolutely,
definitely,
dude.
Definitely. But I'm glad to see it, though. I'm glad to see it like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a way, I'm glad to see it because it's like,
it's fun to watch. I say that.
And
I would love to play. I would love to play in it, bro. Like, man, like.
Well, you had paved the way, though.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
Right. Just like this branding stuff that come from our era.
We did all this. They don't understand. They just get to do it at a younger age. We had to wait.
For real. Getting named to the all-rookie team. What was that feeling like? How you feel?
Honestly, so I'll be honest. Sometimes I actually forget about that. Like, just because, like, for that season, I felt like I could have been all first team just by going through different things and, being in a system where, you know how the Miami Heat system is. So it's just like, okay, I'm appreciative, but I can do more. So in my mind, it was like, okay, what I got to do more to be better.
Yeah.
So yes, I definitely appreciated it more, but it made me work like, okay, let me go be better. So because I was supposed to be first team, so let me really show y'all what I can do.
But you still get a stamp though.
You do.
You're still one of the top rookies.
You still get that stamp. That's what I said. I appreciate it, but it's kind of like Mike,
I like that. That's my guy right there. That's why you my guy.
Yeah.
And like a perfect example of like why you guys like made it to that next level. It's like nothing like pleases you guys. You always want like more. You always want to get better. Like it's crazy. I think that's like the difference right there.
That's why we mentioned like it's always like, look, man, I appreciate that, but look, there's more out there. There's more out there, and I'm trying to get to more.
All right, so you have a couple of years in Miami with D Wade, and then all of a sudden Chris Bosh and LeBron are joining you guys. What was that like for you personally? Just like having all of these guys join and form a super team, and you know what's going through your head?
The Heatles, right? You guys were the Heatles.
The Heatles. That was just crazy. Like that's one of the moments was like you really had to be there just to see like how that city really turned up. Like every road trip, every time we stepped out, it was just a media circus. It was fans. It was just like it's not something you could describe. Like, of course, we all go to our hometowns. We get that same type of love where everybody wants to like, you know, love on you, give you pictures, hugs, all that. Like, but being with that when they first came, the amount of hate, the amount of love, like it was just like, it was just weird. Like, how could y'all hate that man so much just because he made a decision to come to a team? Like, that don't make sense. It's like, at the end of the day, it's still basketball. Like, you act like he did something to y'all personally. Like, that was my biggest thing, just like, boom. And then me, I always like being the villain. Like, that's the underdog of me. Like, I always been told, like, you will never make it, whatever. So for me, being the villain was cool. Like, I embraced it. So when everybody else embraced it, along with me embracing it, was kind of like, okay, like, we don't need y'all that love us. I mean, we don't need y'all that hate us. We're going to rock with all the love that we get. We're gonna turn up extra hard for these people that really love us. And then with y'all, we don't really care. So it's kind of like, boom, like everything happened. And then winning the first championship from all the hate to it's all love everywhere you go. Like you just see everybody change up. Like no matter where you went, it's, you want this, you want that, you want that. Before it was like, nah, you gotta do this, nah, you gotta do that. And I was just like, it just made me see a lot of true colors of different things out
there. Okay. And then like being around like so many NBA legends like that, like we were talking the other night when we were planning for this, the amount of like legends you played with at the end of their careers or at some point or like another, you played with so many like influential basketball players. What was that like for you personally as like growing as a person and a player?
I learned a lot. Everybody had a different background, but everybody had the same journey of making it. The ones that definitely made it and made a lot of money, it was good to piggyback out their investments and, learn the different things that they're going through, the different things that, help them stay successful, help them keep making money. So for me, it was more than basketball, being around like the Ray Allen's, the Mike Miller, Rashard Lewis, of course, Bronny, D-Wade, CB, UD. Being around all them guys, I was able to take, different aspects of, where I wanted to be in life and how I can get there. So that was the biggest thing for me.
That first championship, what was that feeling like? Because I know y'all just came off of one where y'all were supposed to win and you didn't. But like, how was that season and how was that chip? And is that your favorite chip or is it the second one?
My favorite chip is definitely the second one. But winning that first championship, it was just like, I think that was the first time in my basketball career where I felt like I was satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like all this work that I really put in, like everything that's all happened. Like, I really just won an NBA championship. Not only did I win an NBA championship, I have a game 4 that I had 25 and I left a marker that really helped us win. So it's kind of like no matter what y'all say, like I did that. I did it and you cannot take it away from me. So it was another stamp for me. Like, boom, a passport stamp. I did another one. Like I'm gonna enjoy this moment, but I know there's still more work to be done, but I'm definitely gonna enjoy this moment. Like I'm gonna take my hat off, kick my shoes up, and I'm gonna enjoy this. So that's what the first chapter was really, was just like a feeling of I made it. I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. But you know how I am. I'm still hungry. I want more. Like you can't give me you know what I'm saying? You can't give me one. I need 2, 3, 4. I need a couple more. So just after I probably took a month and a half off before I really got back in the gym and went back to work. And going into the second one, it was just what could I do better? Like what can I add to the team to make me better, make the team better? And the coaches really helped me that summer going through that whole season of just being prepared and being a better version of myself. And then coming into the second one, the second one I'll say is probably that game 6 was probably the hardest basketball game I've ever played. Like, we've been playing this game since we was pretty 10 years old. So that was definitely the hardest game I've ever played. And it was just the amount of willpower, the amount of take yourself out of your emotions, be in the moment. Like that was just one of those games. It's like, yeah, that was a surreal feeling.
I love that you said about being in the moment because I always feel like that's key, especially in the game of basketball. Like the detail of being in the moment is so important. Can you just elaborate on that, just to tell the people out there about being in the moment?
See, for me, I have a perfect being in the moment example. It came down the fourth quarter. I think we was down 1. I got the ball. I drove. I had a wide open layup. Instead of that, I tried to kick it to D-Wade, and I turned the ball over. They came down, they scored. My mind left. My mind went to, game's over. There's no way we came back. I just messed up. I just created the last turnover. Everybody gonna look at me, boom, boom, boom. Being in the moment is, boom, okay, I messed up. What's next? Let's stay right here. What can I do to fix this situation? What play can I make next to get back? And my little turnover whenever we talked about. So that for me, that's a being in the moment. Like stay right here, stay locked in. Don't think about what can happen. Don't think about what did happen. What's happening now is what's gonna happen.
That's an experience. That's an experience right there.
That's championship mindset.
Yeah. Had to. Cause I seen that too. I was like, that's game.
Did you expect to go back to back?
Before that game?
No, like did y'all expect it just the whole thing? Like before the season, before the game, just the whole thing. Like, did you expect to go back to back? You expected it?
Yeah, I expected at least, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect 6, 7, 8, but I expected at least 3 or 4. Like that was my mind. Like, we definitely getting 3 or 4 championships out of this. And that was the thing. That's what actually made me stay, because I had before that I had an offer from Toronto. I had a 3 years, 24 offer from Toronto, and then Miami came with a similar offer, and I was a little bit less, a little bit less, and I was just like, do I want the championships or do I want the money? And the only thing that kept going through my mind was like, everybody wants a winner. Everybody wants a winner. So if I solidify myself and I get these championships, I ain't never got to worry about nothing else again. Like, nothing else again, no matter what. Like, I'm going to be labeled a winner. High school, college, NBA. Can't tell me nothing. So that's what the personal decision for me was.
Do you sometimes think about if you would have went? Think about it
all the time. I mean, just because like what comes with that, a lot of people think about it's just about the money, but it's really not about the money. It's about the tax bracket that you get put in. Like, you can never make less than that amount. Like, I'd have been making $8 million a year, and I would have never made that less than that for 6, 7 years of my career. So that's what the things that people don't think about. Like, it's not necessarily about the money at the time. It's about setting myself up and my family for generational wealth. And that was a perfect way to do that. But I didn't have kids and nobody had, well, I had a son and a daughter at the time, but I was still thinking like, I want this championship. Like, either way, I'm going to win. I guess a win-win situation.
I just had to ask that,
Definitely, you know how it is. You always be like,
in the moment, that's one of them another in the moment things. I'm like, man, let's do it. Let's finish what we started, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of like what ifs, is there anything you wish, like looking back, like you could have changed, or are you happy with how everything played out?
No, I'm happy with everything. The only thing I would change was tearing my Achilles. If I could take that back, that's the only thing. But other than that, I did it all. What Jeezy say, I did it all. Like,
I think it's still a part of your great story that you had that like adversity and you came back, because it ain't a lot of people who've done that.
Nah, now it's more common, but like at that time, 2015, wasn't nobody coming back from that. No. Rap City after that.
And to be in 2022, you feel me? 2021.
Feeling better than I did back then. So it's just like, it's just changing.
And then like, just on that, let's talk about your mindset during that process. Like, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody understands like what athletes go through when they have a very significant injury that could be not only life-changing, but body-changing as well.
Everything. I ain't gonna lie. When I told my cousin, I was miserable. Like, I ain't gonna lie. That was the first time, like, being depressed. Like, I understand what they said about mental health and being on your well-being. Like, that was my moment of mental depression. Like, just being, like I said, I've always had basketball as my outlet. Like, no matter what. Things going wrong at home, basketball. Things going wrong in school, basketball. Things going wrong anywhere else, basketball. Now I ain't got basketball. And now I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what's next? I ain't trying to go back to school. Like, I don't want to do none of that. Like, I just had a taste of, you know what I'm saying? And I was just coming into my own, being in Memphis, like, getting underneath the big three, like, oh, like, Rio really had a lot more to his game than, you know, being the guy for the big threes. Like I was on my way. Like, just being able to show that I could be a leader, I could run my own team, all types of things. And it was just like, that moment, I was crushed. And the worst part about that injury was, before that, like a week before, I had a meeting with the front office of Memphis. They was like, yo, you get us to the playoffs. We got 64. Like, I bet. I'm telling you, man, I'm extra in the weight room, extra doing this, extra shots. I'm doing all the extra work.
Yeah.
But the wear and tear on my body is just adding up. And I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about, look, I got to do this to do this. And then in Boston, shot the three, backed up, took that step forward to get the rebound. Felt that pop. I looked at Avery Bradley. I was like, yo, you kicked me? He's like, nah, I ain't touch you. And the crazy thing about that is, like, the week before that, another week before that, I was watching the Kobe Bryant, the Muse.
Yeah.
And you know how he talked about, he felt the pop.
About the same thing.
Same thing. So I was like, that's the only thing that popped in my mind.
That's the first thing.
I was like, I know I didn't do that.
I watched the same two right before I tore mine. It's something weird about that, bro.
Hey, whoever's out there watching it, do not watch the Kobe Bryant Muse and go hoop.
Yeah.
Do not go hoop afterwards. Take a couple weeks off.
Take a couple off, for real. Something bothering you?
No, but for real though, you just unpacked a lot. You know what I'm saying? In that, like, you know, we just knowing what mental health is, like, as a culture, as a community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say, like, the last 5 years, back then, it wasn't as popular as it is today to even, you know what I'm saying, talk about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Want to talk about it like back in the day. You like, they gonna look at you like you crazy. Like,
yeah, like you the weak link.
Right, you gotta suck that up, and man, ain't nothing wrong with you. Hey, go ahead, you a drink and man, figure it out. It'd be like, that's real, bro.
No, I just know too, because, you know, my first year overseas, leaving the league, like, I tore my ACL, and at that time, this 2011, 2010, 2011. At that time, they like, man, like, ain't nobody really coming back from ACL injuries like that. You're gonna be done with for a year. You know what I'm saying? And then just that depression that you was talking about, like, basketball was my savior too. Like, when I was having issues, like, I had basketball, and then just to not have that for like a whole year, it was just like, man.
You don't know what to do with yourself. It'd be like, man, like.
Really, really. So, nah, like I appreciate you just being vulnerable and expressing that, bro. That's underdog, like Craig was saying, like that's a part of why we do and shared this platform, like coming from where you coming from in Alaska, being an underdog, nobody even knowing that there even is basketball out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just breaking down so many barriers that you did from high school to the AAU ranks and being, you know what I'm saying? Like people don't know about that, Mario, as much as they should.
So the fact that you went to 4 finals, you won 2. Talk about how hard it is to actually win a championship and to get to the finals.
It's definitely hard to get to the finals. You know, getting there, you got to lay everything on the line. You can't take no sessions off. Can't have any mental breakdowns. You know, just got to be whatever's thrown at your way. And you know, the saying always goes, you need a little bit of luck to win a championship. And, you know, the first one, I don't think we needed much luck to win that one, but the second one definitely, with Ginobili and Kawhi missing free throws at the end, you know, PB was able to get that rebound, put us in a position, right, hit the 3. And, you know, that was a little bit of luck, kind of like the Memphis situation, you know, back in 2008. So, you know, being in the moments before, kind of knowing what it takes, you know, like I said, you just got to lay everything on the line and, you know, be ready to adjust and make adjustments to whatever happens.
It's not the easiest of roads to get there in any facet, no matter what team you are. It's always going to be an uphill battle. But, like, I mean, sheesh, to go 4 in a row, that's a beast too, regardless.
A lot.
It's a lot on your body too. How to, like, the preparations year in, year round, knowing you like, man, we probably gonna go to another finals.
Yeah, definitely. You know, just what they call now load management. You know, back then we used to call it ankle injury, knee injury, not feeling well today. So you got to figure out different ways to, you know, take days off and, you know, be able to recuperate your body. You know, being with the Heat, you know, they did a great job with that. You know, they would have moments where we was doing yoga at times. We would kind of have just a spring practice a spin class just to do a little bit of conditioning. So they did a good job of just helping us take care of our bodies and make sure that we had everything to, you know, to feel fresh and ready for the next day.
So at the end of that, you know, kind of dynasty years that you had in Miami, LeBron ends up leaving. What's kind of that post-LeBron effect of, you know, keeping spirits high on that team, keeping morale high, and, you know, trying to continue winning once he's gone? Like, how does that affect the team and you know, the morale around it?
It affected us just in the fact that, you know, we lost a lot after Brown left. You know, Ray Allen retired, Shane retired, Mike Miller was already gone, Rashard Lewis left. So it was just a different team, a bunch of new guys, kind of a rebuilding all at once. So I mean, you knew that was going to happen just with, you know, those guys be older in their career. And then the situation with Bron, I think everybody always knew in the back of his head that he would eventually go back to Cleveland because he, you know, he had promised at one point. So, you know, I was just feeling the effects of rebuilding. You know, that was the biggest thing. That was my first time going through a rebuilding stage and, you know, going through learning new players, having a whole different team, and then, you know, dealing with different injuries. And then CB having blood clots, that took another major opponent away from our team. So it was just a lot to deal with as a whole when everything happened.
Going overseas, winning the championship, and playing in the Big Three. Can you kind of walk through that, like that transition? Walk us through that transition of, you know what I'm saying? You was overseas and playing. I think you was in Greece for a minute too, wasn't you?
I did 1 year in Italy, 2 years in Greece.
Okay, yeah. Just walk us through that whole, you know what I'm saying, transition, and what was that like for you mentally and coming down off of everything that you just experienced in the league and everything.
It's definitely different basketball over there. A lot more physical, a lot more tactic too. You know, they real got to be tacticians over there instead of just letting the game just play out and see what happens. So that was different. Definitely a different different situation for me. And then having a coach that already had a inner issue with NBA players definitely didn't help, which was new to me. Like, we got some of the best players in the world, and I'm over here with y'all, but you mad at me because I played in the NBA. Like, that didn't make sense to me, but, was able to get through that season. Just went through a lot of different things over there that I wasn't happy with. Not getting my money on time, being lied to about my money. Like, it was just, like, I felt like a kid. And I was like, I didn't spend 9 years in the NBA, and I had nothing to worry about. Like, I didn't deal with none of this. So it was just like, I'm over it. Like, I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm cool. I'm gonna come back. And, everybody love the Big Three. Big Three is just something, it's like calling the homies, like, yo, we're gonna get together this weekend and go hoop. So that's the biggest thing about that. It's just the camaraderie there, the love there. And, the thing I love most about it is, like, no matter what's said on the court or what happens on the court, there's a respect where, like, I respect you enough to leave it on the court. There ain't nothing gonna transpire anything else, and everybody gonna hang out. I'm gonna treat you the same, and it's all love. And that's the biggest thing about the Big Three. It's like it's nothing but fun. It's like all the people that made it but didn't get to leave their mark as like they wanted to in the league, and like this is our league to do that. So that's the best thing about the Big Three.
Yeah, I definitely learned that like this season. I was at the Milwaukee game, and you and Mike were going at it with the trash talking, right? And like your parents were involved on the sideline too. Like everyone was just going at it. And then after the game, Mike's like, "Yeah, that's my dog right there." And I was like, "How?" Yeah. Like after the things that got said.
Just like that's how he is. Like that's just how it is. Like especially with me and Mike. I know Mike for going on almost 20 years now. So it's kind of like when I see Mike, it's just like one of my brothers. Like, yo, no matter what, we're gonna compete on the court, we're gonna say whatever, but out the court, like, nah, you can't say nothing.
What you doing? Where you about to go get something to eat from, bro? All right, I'm in this room. Come to my room, bro. Like we damn near like best friends off the court, but on the court, like you wouldn't know it if you didn't know.
Not at all.
Like you wouldn't know. Like this how it was at Kansas. He like, oh, okay, that's what you want. He like, all right, we got some for you. We play. You know what I'm saying? And it's just always been like that. It's just always been like that. No matter where we at, like that's how we coming.
Yeah, that's just what it be like.
That's how it's supposed to be in the game of basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we're gonna make each other better and be competitive on the court, and then off the court, we're gonna shoot the shit.
Right, we're gonna kick it.
I mean, I think that's what's kind of missing from the game a little bit too, is just that old school competition to where like I think it's just a little bit too friendly. Like,
I think so too.
Like how you saying, like on the court, like I don't know you. Like, even if it was my brother, like I might elbow my brother, you're gonna have to get stitches. Like off the court though, like
we cool.
It's cool, but it just be different now.
That competition, like we competed different. We played harder. It meant I don't want to say it meant more to us, but it low key did, just because like it's all we got. We ain't got nothing else. We not making it in the hoop. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't have NILs coming out of high school, stuff like that. It was like, this is it for us.
Man, even trainers.
Right. We definitely had no trainers.
Yeah, no trainers.
I remember overseas, I had to take my own ankles a couple times. This ain't it. Like, this ain't it. I can't do it. Can't do it.
So then this season you get signed by the G League. And then, as we all know, you ended up getting picked up back by the Miami Heat on a 10-day. What was that like for you, like getting that phone call, like going full circle right back to Miami Heat? Like, how was that for you personally?
Personally, it was just, I'm not gonna lie, it was another stamp in my book. Just because, like I said, going through tearing my Achilles, going overseas, dealing with that, and just dealing with different things of, not being able to get back on the NBA roster, and then actually getting that phone call after putting in so much work in the summertime, just to, wait to get really in NBA shape. Like, I've always been in shape, basketball shape to be able to compete, but like the NBA shape is a little bit different. And, being able to be physically seen like that, be able to compete with those guys on on that level. And, being able to play with the Heat in the summertime at different pickup games was really helped me too. And, that was just the thing. Just like all the hard work I put in, it paid off again. And understand.
All right. So I wanted to kind of like go in depth with that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like what really was that grind like and how much effort like you had to really take to get back? Because, just being out of it for as, you know what I'm saying, the lead is as long as you was going overseas and just the whole process that you've been through and then coming back, kind of like those mental, like I want you to kind of like dissect the mental. Was it actually soothing or like it was gratification? Like it kind of healed some of the things that it kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of traumatizing to you in the beginning. Like kind of walk us through that. You know what I'm saying? Like that mentality of just, you know what I'm saying, coming full circle.
The first thing was just like, I said the main thing, it's gonna sound weird coming from me. I was scared of putting in the work and not being successful with it. So that's what kind of hindered the process. Like, damn, do I really want to do this? And if I do it, what happens if I don't make it? Like, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be crushed. And then it was like, okay, but if you don't do it, then you ain't never gonna know. So what you gonna do? So in my mind, I gotta play mind games like, all right, let's give it one shot. Whatever happens, what happens. Stay in the moment. We're going to leave it all on the line. If it don't work, we're going to walk away. If it do work, then we in there. So what it started off was I contacted one of my old guys. His name is Tony, which was Birdman's old trainer. And, he started me out 7 a.m. on the sand pit, running, doing drills on the sand pit. So we started that for 7 a.m., did that for 2 months straight. And it was just 7 a.m. doing that, working out, getting weights in at 12, on the court at 3, every day for 2 months straight. It was just like, at first it hurt. It was kind of, damn, I don't want to do this. Like, man, I'm cool. Yeah. They were walking away, I'm straight. But then I fell in love with it. Like, I started seeing younger guys coming up to me. It was like, man, like, you OG, you still putting in this type of work. Like, you inspiring me. And it was kind of like, and that's all I want to do is be inspiration to the younger generation. And this is my way of doing it. All right, I'm cool with it because I'm still having fun with it. I'm still nice. I'm still giving y'all buckets. Y'all can't stop. Y'all can't stop me. I got the old man game. I ain't got to go your speed. I'm going to slow you down. Give you all this, everything. And it's just like.
Walk you right into this bucket on your head, like straight up.
Like, man, I didn't know you was that nice. Like, I didn't know you still got it like that. I was like, yeah, like, basketball not a hard game. You just got to perfect it. And that's what they don't know. They just think you got to go miles per hour, you're going to be good. Like, no, you got to have a real skill. Like, you look at all the greats, they got a real skill. Mm-hmm. You got to really study that and understand, like, for you to be good at basketball, you can't be one-dimensional. You got to be able to do a little bit of everything. And that's what the young players are starting to do.
All right, bet. So we got this section, it's kind of rapid fire questions. It's called Give a Dog a Bone. Mm-hmm. All right, starting off, since this is the Underdog podcast, what is your favorite dog breed?
And Corso.
Oh, Alaska, huh? I should have known. Music artist, favorite music artist?
Lil Wayne, Jay-Z.
Favorite shoe?
Brand or just shoe?
Both, since you know what I'm saying?
Brand, of course, Nike. You know, I'm a Nike guy.
But your favorite shoe, though? Like your favorite shoe? Yeah.
It's got to be. I love me some Jordan 2s. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. I love.
Ooh, that's a good shoe.
Ooh.
I like those. Yeah, Jordan 2s.
I like the 2. The 2, they comfortable. They really comfortable.
Super comfortable.
Favorite city to play in, NBA or overseas?
NBA. NBA, give me Charlotte just because all my family out there. So I love playing in front of my family. And overseas, give me Athens. I like Athens.
Greece.
Yeah,
All right. Your favorite hobby?
Student pool.
I ain't nothing in pool. I was.
I could play.
I'm on it. You gonna play great?
Yeah, but I'm left-handed. I play pool left-handed, they say.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay.
Little pool matchup. This big threesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the coolest thing to do in Alaska?
Cruise.
Best food in Miami? Yeah.
And when we going?
Back.
I can't say it's the best food in Miami, but I'll be up there a lot. I gotta say finger licking. I gotta go with the licking, man.
Finger licking?
Licking your need.
Hardest player to guard?
Chris Paul.
Best defender versus you?
Can't nobody guard me.
Everybody says that.
Least favorite city or like gym to play in, stadium to play in?
That's a tough one. I like playing everywhere, but the hardest one for me probably I would say Boston.
Shit too cold. It get cold in there.
Freezing. It's freezing in there.
They do that on purpose.
Yeah, I know.
It was like 7 degrees yesterday here. A lot of fun day.
What's your favorite game you played in?
Game 7, 2013 NBA Finals versus Spurs.
Favorite movie?
Life.
Eat your cornbread.
Life. Ray's Boom Boom Room.
Craig, I'm convinced you could quote like any movie ever.
I low key. I'm a good
them
quoter.
all, man.
I'm a good quoter.
Who is the MVP of this season?
Joel Embiid. And you know where he went to school at.
So he biased. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Hey, what you mean? Who's doing?
Bucks and 6 on the G.
He said MVP.
MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Who is your favorite current player?
I got a couple. But one I'm always gonna watch is I like Trey. I like what Trey Young be doing, man.
Yeah.
I like Trey. Trey's nice. I like Josh. Josh one of my favorites.
What do you think about people saying he should be MVP this season?
Who?
Ja. A lot of people saying that on Twitter.
Is this number similar to Derrick Rose's MVP season?
Yes, they are.
Yes,
very.
You see Steven Adams play with him yesterday?
But what place that? Yeah, that was incredible. What place? They're in third place.
They was number one in the East. But they was number one in the East too.
Yeah, they was number one.
Or were they number 2? They was number 1 in the East because they had.
It was over.
Yeah, over Miami. Yeah.
I don't. He missed a lot of time, so that's just he missed a lot of time early. So
injury.
That's the only thing where it'd be like JoJo's really did it from to now, and it's kind of like with no Ben Simmons, with everything he been going through, it's kind of like, all right, like
that's true.
You hold it down right now.
Yeah.
But I also like Jimmy. I feel like Jimmy's a slight case for the MVP.
Yeah.
Miami's number
underdog. That's one of them underdog MVP. That's one of them underdogs in the MVP race. Always.
People sleep on.
All right, your favorite all-time player.
Michael Jordan.
Easy call. All right, bet. That wrap up the Give a Dog a Bone segment that we got.
All right, so we only got 2 questions left. What is your funniest NBA moment?
My funniest NBA moment, I was on it was after the game. I was on the NBA Live TV. You know how they had the camera set up in front of you?
Yeah.
So I'm not paying attention to the camera, and I'm looking down at that sheet just talking. I think it was like Chris Webber and Greg Anthony. It was like, "Hey, Rio, can you see it?" I'm like, "Nah, where y'all at?" And I'm just looking down in front of me. And I was like, got you. Like, my bad. Okay.
Hey, yeah, because that for people that don't know, that camera, it's not like a big camera like right in front of your face.
Like,
it's real sleek. Yeah. If you do a interview after, it's a real sleek video. It's just not somebody holding the camera like that.
I'm looking down at the stat sheet the whole time. I'm like, "Nah, where y'all at?"
Where y'all at?
He was like, "Hey, right here." I was like,
Oh man, that was good. That was a funny moment. I appreciate that. Oh,
Speaking of like funny moments, though, you're at the White House celebrating the championship. Were you expecting Obama to say that?
"Nah, I wasn't." Obama got my back, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's one of the coolest things ever, man.
yeah, that is a dope moment, especially Obama, man.
Yeah, straight up.
All right, though, to wrap it up, as we do all episodes, we want to know what the biggest lesson you learned is throughout your entire journey.
The biggest lesson I learned was say, what you put into what you want is what you're going to get out what you want. And meaning, like, you know, for the game of basketball, what you put into the game of basketball, you're going to get out for the game of basketball. And the same thing in life. You put whatever you want in life, you know, success first. And then, you know, once you get there, you're gonna reap the benefits. And, you know, that's the biggest thing is you got to put the work in just to get to where you want to be and never stop working.
Bar, bro. That's definitely a bar. Appreciate you for your time.
All love.
Pleasure.
What's your platforms or your IG? You got anything going on? Let us know what you got going on.
Chilling. My IG mchalmers6, Twitter mchalmers15. For the people out there that do Cameo, man, holla at me on Cameo. Do some shout outs, birthday wishes, anniversaries, you know, whatever you want me to say, within reason, nothing crazy. I got find me on Cameo, mchalmers.
Awesome. I'll put all the links for him down in the description below, so make sure you guys go check that out. Go get a shout out from him if you want. Thanks again for coming on with us. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate you, bro.
Check us out in the Big 3 coming up. You know, we're gonna be
June.
Yeah. June, baby. It's around the corner. It's coming.
Yeah, can't wait to see y'all out there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Always. It's a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure bumping into you, tapping in with you.
I love you. You know how it goes.
Love, bro.
That's it for episode 7 of the Underdogs podcast. Thank you guys for listening, watching. See you guys next week. Peace.